Hey, hey, welcome to another episode of I'm Mustache You A Question with Jen and James. How you doing, Jen?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm all hopped up on coffee. We the fine people at Comics on Coffee, which is a business that also started here in Fort Myers, are pretty much installed a coffee machine. So we're going to be like a coffee house. There's like 15 unique drinks, including pumpkin spice and lattes. I thought I was getting a pumpkin spice, but I hit the wrong button. So I got a flavorless latte, and it wasn't very fun because their pumpkin spice is unbelievably good. And I'm not a big fan of that pumpkin spice stuff, but yes,
Did
it's been
COVID
exciting.
like a worry moment for a second? You were like, "Oh no, I've lost my taste."
Yeah, I was like, look, well, no, it was obvious. I thought it went bad. I was like, ooh, that's not a good coffee maker. like it was getting the initial taste. I imagine was. Have you ever? Do you have like K cups? You know those
Yes.
individual servings. I
Mhm.
would. The original taste was like I accidentally like used the same one twice. That's what I felt like when I took a sip. I was like,
Kind
I
of
think I
lost.
got the bad end of it. But how's your week? How's everything going?
Um, this is like the most busy 2 weeks. I'm sure you're feeling the same thing. Last week I took a road trip to Georgia.
Yeah, how did
To
that go with the collection? Did you end up sealing the deal?
I did. I was very happy.
Nice.
Basically, it got unloaded, partially processed, and then uh, I'm out to do this, which is fun. I'm at the Exxon Mobil campus, which is they have their own like lockdown campus that's
Mhm.
gorgeous. It's like a whole city just in itself. And they have a cool little area here that they let local businesses set up in once every 6 months. So we're on the rotation. We're the first people back. They've been closed to that availability for almost 2 years. So we're super happy to be here.
Oh, so you're basically set up a Space Cadets
Mm-hmm.
collection right there on Exxon's campus?
Yeah, it's like a convention of one
Wow, that's aw how long is it? Just for the weekend? A few days or
for
what?
the whole week.
For a whole week? Nice. Wow, that's cool. I gotta check that out. I heard their campus is something else. It's like something out of like a Google, Apple type of like campus, like huge.
Mm-hmm. It's just like that. And
Has
it's
it done well? Has your business done well in those little pop-up?
yeah. We usually set up the week before Christmas, so it's
Mhm.
it's a little different. Like right now, we're ahead of Thanksgiving even, so it's a
Yeah.
little bit different shopping habits. But I still like it to
Nice.
see everybody. Some of my regular customers, because my shop is like 2 exits to the north from here. I have a
Okay.
lot of customers that come by and say hi to me here, so it's fun.
Very cool. It actually leads me into something one of some of the best things happen when I'm talking to some of the back office staff of Scout where we get in brainstorm sessions and it kind of just happens and then good ideas become great ideas. Someone like plants the seed and then it just keeps on like, sprouting and sprouting and sprouting. And I was having a conversation with our co-publisher Charlie Stickney the other day, and um he's awesome. Him and David Byrne, shout out if they're listening. They're just incredible human beings and amazing business partners. But he's out in LA. Long story short, there's a new comic that's opening right on Sunset Boulevard, and he became friends with them. And Charlie had an idea because Charlie and David's job, really, and mine as well, is to try to get in as many comic stores as possible to make it easier for you to sell our books. And I want to run this idea by you, so I might as well ask you now while we're on
Sure.
we're live. But Charlie came up with this idea, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. Where we have pop-up scout visits to it's basically like I really think Aftershocks ambassador program is very, very amazing. We don't have the budget that Aftershock does, and it's something that we eventually want to do or do some kind of variation of it because it's a great idea. And for those of you who don't know what that is, they get certain huge Aftershock fans. They're called Aftershock ambassadors, and they go out to comic shops. They give variants. They educate the shop owners, and if there's customers there, same time about their product. We want to do the same thing because it's a great idea. But we want to take it one step further. And Charlie had this idea of doing a pop-up shop, similar to what you're doing right now at ExxonMobil. And where we set it up where Charlie or one of us go in, we have the scout set up. And what we would do is that we would bring all the material, educate the shop owners and any of the customers who come in, like spend the whole day there with like a cool setup and maybe a variant that the only way these people can get it is if they go to those shops during that time. right? Like a pop-up variant. Like David came up with the idea of maybe even making one of like seeing if we can do a pop-up cover like those old pop-up books.
Oh, that'd be so
I
awesome.
was like, that's amazing. So we're gonna be talking next time we have our weekly call with the printer. We're gonna see if they can do that. But I think it's great. And what we would do is we would split whatever we sold and give 50% to the shop. So make an event of it. I don't know. What do you think about that? Is it you think that's a good idea? Maybe some legs on there. Any additions to it?
I love it so much because I've had visits from other publishers like Aftershocks come in, Vaults come in, and when they come themselves and can talk to the customers,
Hmm.
it creates what I call brand loyalty.
Yeah.
So they like now they don't associate the comic with just a as a book whether I like it or not. Now they
Hmm.
associate it with a brand that they know the people that run it, and so now it's a personal thing to them. I'm
Similar
very
to.
much a personal brand loyalty person. Like
Hmm.
once I like a brand, and I'm sticking with that till the bitter end. So hopefully
Yep.
it never. I'm supporting it, right?
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, I feel the same way. I get that brand loyalty as well with many and people loyalty as well. To sometimes it's a curse, not a blessing. But yeah, like I don't know. That's one way. Do you think the idea of splitting that, like the proceeds with the store, is something that the stores could really get behind? We're looking at. I mean, obviously, I wish every store was like your store and so open to ideas, and it's like I feel like a great business partnership between ourselves, Scout, and you and your
Well,
shop. And I know you have that with other publishers too, like Vault and like Aftershock. But it's harder to break in some of these older shops. They're just not open to change, and there's just a lot of, you know, I guess bad stuff that's happened in the past that they let affect in the now. So do
sure.
you think that's something that might be able to break that barrier for those people who are just they're not open to change, they just want to do the big two?
I think it'll help
Mhm,
definitely give them proof of concept. So
mhm.
that so here's an example. I'm going to give you a real life example.
Okay.
Dirk Manning does a lot of horror books.
Yep.
I told him, all right, let me know when Hope comes out because that's more of a family friendly thing, and I'm a family friendly place. I don't think horror will do well here.
Mhm.
So he came and did a free comic book day at our store, and what did he sell the most of?
Hope.
His horror titles.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, so I said, I don't know my own customer base, obviously. I thought that I knew them, but they're hungry for this stuff. So because of that, I know I can carry all of his things now because they've tried it. So I think in the case of Scout, if you go and set up this way, an owner that says, I don't think I've got the audience for Scout,
Mhm.
if they see that people do love those titles and buy them when you guys are there, they might, have that like aha moment of like, well, maybe I was wrong about this. Maybe I need to really start diving deep into it. So I think it might work.
Great. Yeah, I think what we're gonna do is at the next Comics Pro, that's gonna be one of, those 10-minute roundtables. I think that's gonna be one of our backbones of that presentation is be like, "Hey, this is what we wanna do," and then set up maybe staff, like somebody who'll do it in, like, regions, almost set it up like, how they do, like, wholesaling in my other business, where you got a certain region, like, certain people we designate and then provide it. But, yeah, that's one of the again, that's what I love about this company that I'm working with is or for whatever, is that we always try to think out of the box, and we're always trying to think of clever ways of getting our books into the customer's hands. It's exciting. All kinds of cool stuff we have planned. So, any this Wednesday, any hot titles? I know there's the big thing that we're experiencing, and I'm sure some people have heard, but the paper shortage is real.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to really affect free comic book this year. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
So there's a company that a lot of publishers like ourselves use that was really like we use this particular printer. It's not the one that we normally use. But long story short is that they were sending us multiple emails like, "Hey, like, are you going to do it this year? Here's the deadlines." And a lot of people don't know is, but you have to get your free comic book day in as a publisher. The approval needs to be in December of
Wow.
the previous year. and then you have to print it in February. And again, it's not until May when it's actually distributed. So there's a huge runway of lead time. And all of a sudden, they were just telling us the different deadlines. And then they sent basically a blanket email that says, listen, we can't get this paper. So we are, anyone who can do comic book day orders, we are canceling, guys, but it's just not going to happen. So it's like, it's insane. It's very real. Could it change overnight? It could. That's just one of the different, one of the crazy things here in the back end with the publisher. Paper and ink, a lot of people are understanding that ink is an issue. Paper is a little bit more sexy, but ink itself, there's certain types of ink that aren't available. It's this whole supply chain nightmare. That's it's kind of crazy. Any
we have we have the other difficulty this week of Diamond's ransomware attack, which
That's
means
right.
that some shops don't have it. But you know, I got some of them. I definitely got my Scout books.
Huge order.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we premiered some of the stuff last night on the show last night. But the books that I love this week are Matt Rosenberg and Tyler Voss's "What's the Furthest Place from Here."
I can't wait.
Which we wait for.
And do you have the final one?
Nobody has it yet. They did not ship.
Oh, the final edition. Can you give me one for me? No?
I don't know how many I've got coming in because they allocated them too, but if I have one, I'll get it for you.
Yeah, no problem. And that's exciting. I'm a huge fan of Matthew Rosenberg. I think he's a fantastic writer. I loved We Can Never Go Home and Four Kids Walked Into a Bank. Just phenomenal work, and excited about this one. And Tyler Ross is doing this as well, right? So it's them reuniting.
The dream team.
That's great. In my office, I have a couple original pages from Four Kids. I think it's issue 3. I have like 4 pages that I bought from Tyler a long time ago.
Did you know that I own, I think, 3 covers for Four Kids?
Do you really? That's awesome. Which ones?
I don't have one, but I think I've got 2, 3, and 4.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it.
Did you buy it from Tyler, or did you directly, or did you just get it like from a third party?
My old comic book manager bought it straight from him, and then offered them up, and I was like, mine. If I had known that they were in play, I would have bought them originally. But
nice. Oh, I just got a message from Enzo Garza, the Gut Ghost creator. He's coming this weekend. He's able to make it, so he's going to come and sign. So Joey, remind me later to shoot you his information. But Enzo is just an amazing human being. He's a comic shop owner too, up in the Orlando, which is about 3.5, 4 hours from where we're at. So excited. Enzo's going to be there. Haven't seen him, since the pandemic. So very cool.
Know that he was a store owner. That's amazing.
You didn't know that? Oh, they just recently changed their name. It was Banff. You know, David and Candace Craig. Enzo was the third owner in it. Now it's called Blackbird, I believe.
Yeah, that's a nice name.
Yeah, I like Blackbird. I'm very curious. I haven't seen him in a while. Just been so busy. I usually stop because I have a lot of client base there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And for my other job. So I would always, a lot of times I would set up shop because they have a coffee shop in there now. Like it looks like a full-blown cafe. Mm-hmm. And I would sit down and kind of do things at their shop, and go on the internet and answer emails and stuff. They're great people. Enzo's awesome. Guckos has done so well for us, and yeah, it's going to be great to see him. I know we have tons of other people. Kevin Joseph just announced that he's coming in. Kevin Joseph is the creator of Tart. Fans of Sandman would absolutely love Tart. It's got that whole Charlie's Angels meets Sandman meets James Bond kind of action, like Secret Spies. Such a good book. We've come out with multiple, like volume 1 and then multiple one-shots, and about to to do volume 2 shortly. So he's coming over. He's from the East Coast of Florida, but a lot of awesome things. Peter Gorell is coming down, or Gorel, excuse me.
Wow.
Joe Schmalke, and it's Joe's birthday. And were you privy to the? I put my foot in my mouth. He wanted to get Dr. Pepper, and a lot of people know my dislike for Dr. Pepper. It's become like a thing amongst Scout fans. And I
All
told
about
Joe, I was like, if people really want to, because we're going to be kind of a cafe, right? And they're like, are you going to supply Dr. Pepper? I was like, man, people don't want that stuff. And he's like, I will show it to you. I'm like, whatever. If you can get 100 people to tell me that they want to have it at HQ, I'll make it happen. And I didn't realize this, but he started a change.org page
He did.
and got well above the 100 signatures. So I'm a man of my word. I went to Costco last night and I bought a huge amount of Dr. Pepper, and I felt gross. I showered 3 times when I got home. It was disgusting. And yes, that is going to happen. So if you would like to taste that terrible, terrible beverage, we will have it available for sale for $1 a can. So
You'll make lots of Texans happy, because I think Dr. Pepper might be the official drink of Texas.
yeah, it started there, right? I believe outside of Dallas.
Think so.
I heard the story. My uncle lived out in Texas, and he told us it was it was created when prune juice, like kids would get constipated, and they hated prune juice, so they mixed it with cola, and that's why that's where Dr. Pepper came from. Was it got kids to drink prune juice? So since then they added 22 other flavors to it, which I've heard were like nail clippings, sawdust, asbestos, like a lot of bad stuff they added to this drink. And apparently people love it. Paint chips too. I think lead paint chips are in there. I don't know. I've heard rumors.
I don't think so.
So yeah, a lot of amazing stuff. We have 2 really big calls today that I'm like super excited about. We have hold on one second. I got to answer this. I think there's like another call happening right now. Sorry, but yeah, we have 2 really big calls today. One today at 4 with me and Joe Schmalke. We're talking a really possibly super cool thing that we've been trying to get on the line for months now, and it's happening today. And then just shortly, we have another big call about possibly landing this another big thing. I wish I could say it, but I can't. So I think I told you off channel, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, I think you tell me, and I put it away in my
and
brain.
Your vault. Yes.
Come back. Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. But this weekend, if anybody's in the Florida area, we have our grand opening. It's going to be 11 to 6, both Saturday and Sunday, and numerous signings. I believe there's going to be a food truck outside, and yeah, it's super exciting. A lot of stuff going on, and woo. So you're going to be working that place for at the ExxonMobil. That's for the next week. Are you yourself going to be running it, or are you kind of switching off with people?
Oh no, I like being here. So I do this week until Friday, and then we have a regular-ish weekend at the store, and then next weekend is Bayou City Comic Con, and then we have a bunch of people coming in for that. I'm not associated with the convention itself, but I'm happy about all the people that I know that are coming. Like Afua Richardson's coming.
Oh, nice.
And there's a bunch of people that we haven't had any real conventions in a while. And this one seems really balanced. Like they have a lot of comic book people instead of just a bunch of TV and movie people, which I like those guys too, but I like comic people more.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. Yeah, it's crazy. We have it's going to be kind of a little bit of a reunion here. What was the other question I had for you? I had something. It looks like we're a little late. It was me just getting stuck here, but it's probably about that time for us to wrap up.
Can I ask a question today? Because you always
sure.
Your favorite action figure that you had when you were a kid.
Oh my gosh, I'll show you.
You have it still?
I do. Well, a variation of it.
Oh my gosh.
Regular old
Yes.
Stormtrooper. My grandma and grandpa from both sides, my mom and dad, would always buy me the Stormtrooper. I actually just recently bought an original packaged one. Like it's kind of my like from Star Wars, like the original Stormtrooper, and I have it in one of these kind of cases, and it's like my pride possession. But that's my favorite. My other one was, and this is totally random, and it kind of is similar to a Stormtrooper, is He-Man. The after Skeletor kind of went away and Hordak was the villain.
Yeah.
Hordak had like a Stormtrooper, basically, a Hordak trooper, and I wanted that toy so bad. That's all I wanted for Christmas. And I remember getting it. I was so disappointed, like depressed. And my dad's like, "Hey, there's one more present for you to get." I'm like, "Oh, what is it?" And shake it up like any kid would. And it's like, "Oh, it's clothes." You can tell. It was a pair of jeans, or a pair of like pants, but when you opened it up, there was that toy. And I look at it, my parents must have, that was like one per case back then. It's like really hard to get even now. It's
Oh
like
wow.
thousands of dollars, like which I'm not going to spend. They did a remake of it that I purchased.
Mhm.
It's over at the old HQ, but those are my two. So I gave you two answers, but the Stormtrooper by far was my favorite. I just was obsessed with Stormtroopers. And then my mom would tell you, I can't believe I'm saying this online. I was obsessed with Ernie from Bert and Ernie.
Oh.
Like obsessed. My mom, like, I would have her pay, pictures of Ernie in the magazine. It was, but it all makes sense. Look at the comic book. The comic book obsession led to, help running a publishing company, and they're at it now. So it all started with Ernie. That's my background. What about you? What's your favorite toy?
It's crazy because it wasn't really my toy. My brother is 4.5 years younger than me. So when he would get presents that needed to be assembled, my mom and dad would ask me if I do it, and I liked doing it. But he got 1 year a G.I. Joe like helicopter. And I loved that thing so much. He was very sweet and let me play with it more than he played with it, of course. But yeah, the putting it together and like getting to hang out with my brother, and there was just something about it. I could still smell the plastic. Is that weird?
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Have you ever thought about buying it again, or have you ever come across it in the shop?
I've had it come through a couple times. Oh, technical difficulties. And this has been Mustache You A Question with James Hake and Jen King. Your mic's down. I think your mic's off.
Sorry. Okay. So we have tons of technical difficulties. That was very weird. I'm sorry, but we can go ahead and wrap it up here if you're comfortable.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Sorry for all the technical difficulties, but we appreciate you guys. And if you guys are available, we do have the HQ grand opening if you're in Florida, and definitely always head over and check out Jen's spot. She's got an amazing store over there, Space Cadets. We are probably going to be doing some live stuff as well, so make sure you guys are following Scouts live socials. Jen, you got anything else coming up?
No, I just support your local comic shops. Get in there. They love seeing you, even if you can only spend like $5. Those $5 added together mean that they can pay the rent. So
definitely, yeah, you always want to do that. And make sure if you guys are heading into if Free Comic Book Day happens, get in there, go grab something, but don't leave without purchasing something. That's always the best thing to say. All right. Well, thank you, Jen. It's been fun. You guys have some really cool stuff coming up, and I'm really excited.
excellent. Thank you so much, Joey.
All right. Bye.
Bye.